Hey, Avco Joe, I'm back again. Shut up. So, the first camping trip we had, we went down to Virginia when the truck fell apart. And I noticed when we were going over the Bay Bridge Tunnel there, the winds were pretty good. So they kind of gusted the truck around a little bit. So I did a little research. I ended up changing the sway bar on the front of the truck. And I also put Bilstein shocks, which stabilized the truck much better now. I did this after we got the truck back from Indiana. And I used a Hellwig sway bar, and I was going to put airbags on the back of the truck. That's what everybody does. But like right out of the factory, these E450s, they come with 5,100 pound rear springs. Most of them do, like 90% of them, from what I understand from the service guys at work. They all tell me the E450s, they come right out of the factory with mostly the 5,100 pound rear springs. And then construction trucks, they'll put the 7,200 pound rear springs on, which I ordered. I ordered them yesterday from a place in Perkiomenville, and I'll get their names. I can't remember what the name is. But I'll figure that out in a minute. So I asked the guy to put an extra leaf in the 7,200 pound package, leaf spring package, which would bring the back of this truck up about 1.5 inches, and it would be able to hold, well, they're like 14,000 now, so it would bring the gross vehicle weight, up to 16.5. So beefing up the back springs is a better way to go instead of airbags, because airbags support the top of the springs, and that kind of takes away from the suspension of the truck. Even though it's a cheaper way to go, it's not exactly the right way to go. So I opted for the spring pack, which I'm going to get in a couple of days, and then we'll install that when the time comes. I'm hoping it's pretty cold right now, so I'm just going to do the rear sway bar and the rear shocks, switch them over to Bilsteins, and then we're going to put the spring pack on when it's a little warmer, and that'll be a continuation of this video down the road. But if anybody's thinking about stabilizing their truck, I think that the 7,200 pound spring package for the E450s is the way to go. Airbags they help stabilize it, but they really don't do anything for the suspension. Plus, there's also a S&S Panhard bar that I'm going to put on when we do the springs, because I'm not sure about the room on the frame for the springs. So I'm going to make sure I got enough room before I go doing any of that stuff. So this is the winter video. How's that sound? So this is the Hellwig spring sway bar. It's quite more beefier than the other one. The other one, if you take a look under here, which I'm going to rip out in a couple minutes, it's not really that big. It's very small. It's not helping at all, actually. It slows it down a little bit because it's brand new, but over a period of time, it's actually not going to work. And if you notice the springs, you see them little divots there? When they're touching the spring below it, that usually says That's usually an indication of them being maxed out. And when these are missing, that means they were overloaded a couple times. And your spring pack's just about done. They're a flat spring pack. They're built for suspension durability, but I mean, oh, there's one of the beams they missed. See that? Anyway, they're not the right spring pack for a truck this big. As soon as they put this camper on top of this, they max that spring pack out, and then after that you're just beating the shit out of it. Not going to last that long. So my suggestion is, if you ever get one of these E450 chassis with a camper on top of it, no names involved, spend the grand, spend $1,000. I mean, airbags cost $575 and they're like $800 installed. The spring pack's $1,000 and it's easier to install. Just drop them 2 U-bolts, drop this bolt here and that bolt back there, and boom, it's out. You're gonna take the tire off, of course, but there's a little bit more to it than what I'm saying, but still, I think it's the way to go, and that's what we're gonna do here at Avco Joe's farm. So as you can see here, I pulled the old one out, and you can see the difference between the two. The Hellwig is much more beefier than the standard Ford Motor Company sway bar. If you plan on going with the Hellwig, make sure that you grease up your bushings, because if you don't, it's going to make a lot of racket. It's going to squeak all the way down the road. So on to the next step. So we're going to put these offset brackets on and take the old ones off, and then get right back to you. So the kit's not that hard to figure out. You guys can do it by yourself. You don't have to jack the truck up, but you do got to be able to crawl under it. So your measurement for your nuts and stuff, this seems like pretty simple. Make sure you grease up your bushings. They give you all kinds of simplistic measurements. That's your diagram for your rod coming off the frame. Make sure you get your bend right. It's going to go towards the inside of the truck. They got jam nut on there, and then they got lock nut on the bottom, a couple of washers. It's pretty self-explanatory. They give you the silicone grease, which they always do. I suggest greasing this up a little bit, because if you don't, it's going to make a hell of a lot of noise going down the road. You'll be wondering where that squeaking's coming from. And you just, well, I got grease all over my fingers now. Now I can't do nothing. Oh, this sucks. I gotta get the grease off. So here we are, final product of the unit. I got jammed up with the nuts and the bolts on the shock. So I just put the other Bilstein shocks on that I had. So I got the Bilsteins, and I got the new sway bar from Hellwig. There's the other Bilstein over there, brand new. I got part number for them. So you guys need a hand with that. Do 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 ba 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 ba. There's the number for the rear shocks. I don't have the box for the front ones anymore. You can figure that out on your own. if you got this far with it. Well, that's the Bilstein Hellwig rear add-ons that we put on this camper, Class C. When I get the springs in, we'll do a spring video. Won't be that hard. Have Coach Joe signing off. Have a good day.